Hello. For this stream, I'm waiting for the YouTube video to go up. Alright, there we go. So for this stream, since it's September 1st, I wanted to do something spooky related. So I have a spooky, scary skeletons remix that I did about 2-3 years ago that I never released. But this is it. This is what the project file looks like, and I've changed the background to be an orangish, dark orangish to support the Halloween spooky vibes. And I'm just going to play it for you guys, and then I will make adjustments and explain the adjustments that I made and why I'm doing them. So. Okay, so that's the song, and some of the things I want to change. I feel like there's too much bass whenever the drop comes in. It's gonna blow your ears out if you're listening on something with any bass, and in the beginning is a little quiet. And there might be other little polished things that I want to do. So, first thing that I'm going to want to do is make sure that all the channels on the left over here are in their respective mixer channels down here, which we talked about in yesterday's stream. So I'm just going to have a listen and make sure that's the case. So that's the bass, those are the drums, that's the main lead. Okay, everything seems to be in order, so that's good. Alright, next is turning down everything to 0. Now I double clicked on the leftmost channel and then dragged right and let go. It will select all of the volume channels that you have when you do that selection. So you can turn them all down to 0 very fast that way. Next I'm gonna go and remove any effects from the master channel that I don't need. This is a limiter. It just compresses the sound. It also keeps it from clipping. So we're just going to leave that there. It's not really doing any harm or good right now. And then this just is a frequency analyzer. It tells me how much bass compared to mids and treble is going on during the song. And then this is a visualizer for uploading videos to YouTube, but we're not going to touch that today. So we'll start with the usually you want to start with the loudest part of the song, because that's where most of your instruments are going to be. So first thing you want to do is think what the most important instrument of your song is, and then start from there, and then go second, third, fourth, and set their volumes. And what I think is the most important is probably going to be the drums for this. So we're going to find which one that is, because I don't have them properly labeled. I don't label anything. It's just a lot faster for me. Plus there weren't a lot of tracks, so I could just, it wouldn't take very long to find out. Nope. Okay, there it is. When you raise your levels like this, you want to make sure that you raise them to about halfway or a little above half. That way you have room for the other instruments when they come in, so it's not beating against the master channel too much, or otherwise you'll get distortion. Okay, I'm gonna check for questions. No questions. There's a lot of reverb on these drums, so I'm going to take down that. Alright, I guess we're back. I don't know what OBS is doing, but apparently I disconnected for a little bit. So anyway, I was messing with the bass. That sounds about right to me. I'm going to check here, and you'll see what it does. Yeah, it sounds about right. I'm going to make the bass mono. That's what this knob down here does. If you move it all the way to the right, it'll make a sound completely in the center of your two speakers. If you move it all the way to the left, it's going to take any widening that the instrument already had and multiply that so that it's very wide and not in the middle of your speakers. So you'll feel like it's right on like the edge of your ears on some instruments when you do that. But we're going to put it in mono because you don't want your bass to be left or right or wide. You want it to be right in the center. Next instrument will be the lead that I have for this. That sounds about right. I'm going to check it once again in here. Also going to change this to an orange color to be more seasonal. I actually don't know if that's orange. It looks more like a salmon. Huh?
I'd say that's more of like a peachy color.
Peach?
Yeah, not quite salmon. You need to be a little pinker than that. It's a very light, desaturated orange.
I think those are all the instruments. Now let's go to the beginning and we're going to set that initial instrument that was there. Okay, that sounds like a good balance to me. I'm gonna go and look at this again. By the way, this plugin, Span, is free. I use it on every song, and it's very helpful to look at the bass and the mids and the highs for each song that I'm working on. But it's free. It's great. I love it. So I recommend getting that. I'm going to get out an EQ and put out or increase the mids and the highs on this instrument a little bit so that they're a little more equal on the visualizer. Right about there. This is more of a taste thing, I guess. I mean, when it comes to music, everything's a taste thing, but I just like it so that it's more even. So if you're listening on TV speakers, you're going to hear it very crisp. If you're listening on with a lot of bass, you're going to still hear it very crisp because it's going to have more of that mids and highs. So yeah. Alright, now that we have everything on our levels set up, the next thing that we'll want to do is look at some panning, so moving things left and right. For this song, I'm probably not going to be doing much left and righting. It's going to be more widening and narrowing, like I did with the bass. I narrowed it. Since this is the only instrument we have, I kind of want it to be pretty wide. That seems about right. So let's listen to how that sounds over here. So I'm going to get another EQ out for this instrument. I'm going to remove any high frequencies that we're not going to need for the instrument. Also lows, so we're going to go to where the instrument's playing its lowest sounds, and then we'll EQ from there. Let's say right about there, and we'll cut even more way down there because we're not using that. Okay, so you can see on the master channel there's also a stereo widening knob for it, just like there are for the other channels on the mixer. You want to check your song in mono, and the reason you want to do that is because a lot of the times when people are listening to music, they're listening mono, either on their phone or in car speakers. It's hard to tell what's left and right. It's non-existent in car speakers a lot of times, because a lot of times people have car speakers in the back of their car, and it's just, you're not going to get a left and right. You're going to get like a mono representation of your song. Or in big clubs, some big clubs don't play stereo, they just have mono because there's so many speakers. It's just a waste of time to do stereo. So you want to check your songs in mono, make sure they still sound good. Alright, so what I noticed when I listened in mono was the bass was a little much, so I turned it down just a tiny bit. And the reason I got that is because when I put the song in mono, I wasn't getting the wide lead and the wide drums, so it made the bass sound smaller when it was in stereo. But when I put it in mono, the bass was very accentuated because it is the center instrument, and I'm not getting those stereo effects from the other instruments. So yeah, always check your songs in mono. Okay. How much time are we on for? Okay, 14 minutes. Not bad. Alright, I would say the song is nearly done. I'm just going to do a couple things real quick, and I explain them as I do them. Alright, so you see how the loudest the song is getting is about here. That's a good thing, because it's not distorting or anything. And now we can turn the song up. Well, before that, actually, I'm going to put a compressor on. I'll explain how compressors work. So that is a visual representation of how loud the sound is at any given time. What a compressor does is it will lessen the length, or it takes louder sounds and makes them quieter, and it makes quieter sounds louder in a song. So it sounds like what it does. It's a compressor. I'll do a dramatized effect just to show you how it can be applied. So I'm going to turn the ratio all the way up. That just means how strong the compressor is going to be when its threshold is met, which I set to be around here. You see how it's squished the dynamics of the song? What's white right here is the actual audio of the song, and the blue is what was taken in. And then so if I change the ratio, it'll be a less dramatic of an effect. Okay, so now that I applied some compression, I'm going to go and apply limiting. And what limiting basically is just extreme compression. Like if there's, it will not allow anything past the point that you set it at. It will just destroy any sound that goes past that, which you would think is bad because you would get a lot of distortion, but I'm not applying it at the middle of the song's volume. I'm going to apply it at a point where I think the song is not going to reach very much at all. But just to make sure nothing gets past it, that's why I'm doing that. So right about there. And then we go to the limiter. Okay. OBS popped out for a second, but we're back. And basically almost done. Hello, Logan. We're just about to finish the stream, so I don't have much to say to you, sir. But I guess I'll just play the song now that it's done. Spooky, Scary Skeletons. Alright, I'd say that's done. Rats, yeah. Alright, thank you guys for joining the stream, those of you that did. I love Halloween, so I'll be doing a lot more Halloween related things these upcoming months. And obviously I'll be taking requests for any Halloween related things. Here is my pet rat. There he goes. Alright, see you guys. Enjoy your September weather. Goodbye.